Welcome to Glitch Please, the show where we talk all about video games. I'm Brian.
I'm Gus.
I'm John.
It's Boys Day.
It's
Boys Day.
You know what? We're going to rebrand this show. Today, welcome to Two Dads and Gus.
It's more like
Two dads and their son Gus talk about video games.
we should do this. We should do this for my new minivan.
Yeah.
That I just bought.
Oh, you did?
2017 Toyota Sienna. It's great. I love it. I know people make fun of me. It's great. It's got automatic door. You push a button, they open. You can pick the kids up from daycare.
It's fantastic.
Mwah.
That's so fantastic.
Maybe it should be Glastered, please.
Glastered, please?
Instead of Glitch, please.
What is Glaster?
Glastered.
Bastard.
Oh, because you want to marry Glitch and Bastard, so you make Glaster.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Bastard,
that'll
please.
only work.
No, all right. Things are off great.
It's
a
off
great
great.
start.
Great
Ashley's
I'm leaving.
Gone
Yeah.
somewhere
Yeah,
cooler
she's
than
off.
here.
Yeah, that's right. So we're filling in. Let's start off.
Deal with it.
Yeah. We got a lot of game news to get to.
So much.
So much. But first, John, what are you playing these days?
What I'm playing
What
is-
Pokemon did you catch this week?
I
Let us
haven't
know.
got Deoxys yet, and I'm very upset. Do you know what happened, though, when they came out with the invitations to get Deoxys, which is the new...
You need invitations to catch a Pokemon?
Okay, so the legendary Pokemon started with Mewtwo, that in order to get Mewtwo, you had to go and battle at gyms and beat raids. And then if your raid, this gym that you had beaten at, that Mewtwo was going to come visit, then you'd get a special invitation that would say, Mewtwo's coming to this gym, this date, this time, come fight him and get a Mewtwo. It was a very exclusive kind of thing. It was cool. It was a cool mechanic. That's how they did Mewtwo. And now Mewtwo is out around in gyms, all kinds of stuff. So they have a new legendaries, Gen 2 legendary, Gen 3? Gen 3, I think. Deoxys. And so you have to get, again, invitations. That happened while I was out in London. And so everyone here at the office who goes and raids all the time, they all got an invitation for one at a park nearby, and they were all excited. And I wasn't here to do those, so I didn't get it. But then as soon as I got back to here, I got a notification. I got a special invitation to a park in London. So
when are you flying out?
Just hop on your
it
jet.
passed. It was like Tuesday.
When you go out to these raids or show up, when you're hunting Pokemon
When I'm
in
hunting.
the wild, especially if it's near a school, do people call the police?
No, because I just stay in my car.
You stay your court-mandated 500 yards away.
I swear, I'm not taking photos of your children.
Yeah. I feel that way even when I take my own kids to like parks because, to be honest, it's usually me and then my two kids and then a ton of moms because not a lot of dads are out there doing that. So it's just like I'm the random dude and I can,
With the mustache.
with a mustache and two children who look nothing like him.
Nothing suspicious
There's
at
nothing
all
suspicious about that. But I am playing SpiderMan.
Oh, okay.
Because
How far in that are you?
so I think I explained this already that I lost my original save
right,
of Spider-Man when I was 90% done with the game.
Fuck.
So I'm back to about 50% done with the game, and I just got through the whole raft thing that they all break out, and then the New York City starts going to shit.
That's more than 50%.
That's but probably more than 50%. I think last time I logged in, I was at 50%, so I'm probably more above that. And I'm excited about that. I'm kind of just wasting time until Odyssey is released. I'm gonna play
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Tomorrow. We're shooting this on a Thursday.
Yeah. So when Odyssey comes out, I'm looking forward to playing that. I'm hoping that the game is full of a ton of Greek mythology references because I'm all jazzed up about that.
That says a lot, though, about Spider-Man, that even though you lost your save, you were happy about going back and finishing. Because there's a lot of games where if I lose that much progress, I'm just like, fuck
You're
it.
done.
Oh, yeah.
Move on. Yeah, I don't like it that
Definitely.
much. Yeah.
No, I'm very happy to replay it and get to the end for the first time.
I'm excited about Assassin's Creed Odyssey 2. People have been making some complaints online about there are microtransactions. There's a currency in there that you can buy to skip the grind, that you can sort of boost your XP. And they've been saying that towards the end, the difficulty level kind of spikes.
of the actual
course.
campaign.
Yeah, that it seems to be pushing you a little bit to buy hex something, some sort of currency.
I'd be curious if that affects me because I am definitely the kind of person that does way too many side quests on these kinds of things and gets OP.
Right.
So we'll see if that evens out on this. I get to the.
There's some we'll see how they handle it. Obviously, I haven't played Odyssey yet, but I know I'm the same way. And there's some games where they still, no matter how OP you are, you're still getting pushed. Shadow of Mordor, I'm looking at you, or Shadow of War.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Oh yeah, definitely by the end, it was very much pushing. They removed that mechanic altogether from the game. So I hope this takes a more balanced approach where you can play the game, have fun, and continue to play.
Right,
But we're just speculating. I'm just speculating.
I'm also really bad at video games, so it might not work out either way. I'm someone who's not very good.
All the microtransactions in the world.
You know, I might be the one who needs the microtransactions to get stuff, so that might work.
Gus, what are you playing?
I'm almost done with SpiderMan. I think I'm on like the very last story mission, and I've got a couple of side things to wrap up.
Yeah.
So I think I think I timed it perfectly. Where I'm going to finish that today.
Oh yeah, perfect.
And then pick up Odyssey tomorrow.
Nice.
So I think I'm happy. I've been talking with Michael. He just 100%ed Octopus Traveler last night.
I saw him tweet about that.
Yeah, we've been talking about this. It's been eating him up that he hadn't finished
That's
it.
funny.
So
I get that about like guilt, like an unfinished book.
Yeah, and he asked me if I had done it. I said, fuck no. There's no way I was going to do that.
I like it. But at some point, I put it down and moved on. Like, I like the combat and everything, but then after a while, it just felt like, you know, I'll go back. I know I'll go back to it. But.
Yeah, the final boss, like, so you can beat the game, and it's all good and said and done. There's an optional final boss you can defeat, which is what he defeated.
So this is what he's talking about.
Right.
Okay.
And in order to defeat the optional final boss, you have to fight 8 boss fights in a row.
Okay.
And then with no saves.
Okay.
The final boss fight is the 9th boss. And you have to use 2 parties of 4. So every one of your characters has to be leveled up to at least level 50.
You can't have scrubs just hanging out in the back going, yeah, beat that guy.
There's multiple phases in that boss fight. And at any moment, if you just have bad luck, it could be over. And then you have to redo all the fights and everything to get there. So first of all, you have to do a lot of work to get your party, everyone in your party ready. And then you have to go through all this really long, prolonged fight, and then RNG may screw you in the end.
That's old school as shit.
Yeah.
Now that kind of gets me a little psyched to try.
Yeah, but it's hours. I mean, it's so much work.
Right.
Did I mention how bad of a gamer I am and how much that just sounds terrible and I would not do that and wouldn't care about that for the game?
You have to love the grind at some point.
I like the grind, but like when it's that unrelenting as far as like what that sounds like is it's saying like grind is one thing. Grind is like putting a bunch of time into progression along the way. This is just do a bunch that might mean nothing.
This is also optional.
Right.
You can finish the game and be done and never see this boss.
But when games do this for you to 100% something, that's what makes me not someone who really cares about like achievements and that kind of stuff, because I feel like the games are just like, for instance, the best news I heard about Spider-Man, because I really do want to 100% Spider-Man because it's super fun and it's one that I'm like, I would like the 100% in this one.
Just because I'm enjoying myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was I heard that the Taskmaster challenges, you don't have to get to gold on them. You just have to finish them with bronze, and that counts towards it.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Like a millennial bullshit.
It's total millennial bullshit.
Have your trophy, literally.
Did you see how the final boss fight played out for Michael, by the way, in Octopus Traveler? Did you see how the final boss fight played out for Michael? I have the tweet pulled up here. He was on his 3rd attempt at fighting this boss. He swapped out a few skills, slightly modified the strategy, went in for like a final one-hit kill on the boss, and didn't kill the boss, wiped out 3/4 of the party, had 1 guy left with very little health left, and on the next turn, he was able to kill the final boss with this 1 guy left.
Oh, that's the best feeling.
Oh, there it is.
When you know your remaining guy has one hit, has like a little bit of life left. Old Brick came through.
I think his follow-up tweet to that was, his blade was unbending, which is quality.
I'm that way too now about games though. Most of them, if I see credits, I'm done. I don't do additional stuff now.
No.
Because I got kids and I gotta move on to something else, getting back to the whole dad thing.
So maybe the stuff like John's talking about would be good for you then. You know, just getting the bronze is good enough to satisfy the...
Absolutely. I'm with you, millennials.
The thing about that, as I am a millennial, is that, wait, are you older than me or am I? You're older than me.
Yeah, I'm older. 42.
You're a bit older.
Oh, I'm not that. All right.
No, you're Gen X.
I'm Gen X.
Get out of here.
I'm millennial.
Yeah.
No, because the Taskmaster stuff, the first time in Spider-Man was a thing that like was punishing enough that it became not fun. Because the rest of Spider-Man, all the stuff, even like the extra bonus things for when you attack a group of guys in a base, it's like, hey, you can beat this base, or you can get a 65 combo, thing and get your extra bonuses. Those were fun to try to get to do. The Taskmaster was when it first was like, oh, you have to be perfect. Like, I don't like it when a game says you have to be perfect, because guess what? I'm not perfect at video games.
Even when you're talking about those base attacks, you don't have to do those optional missions. There's no there's no trophies tied to that, right?
I don't know, but I like them.
I
did it mostly because they give you extra tokens and stuff.
Yeah, you get extra tokens
to be able to level up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
are you playing?
What am I playing? Hearthstone.
I was going to ask as a joke, but there it is.
Always Hearthstone.
ABH.
Yeah, that's right.
Always be Hearthstoning.
I got this is sort of embarrassing to admit. I got sucked into playing Arena of Valor because it just came out to the Switch. It's a free-to-play MOBA.
No.
It's the one that famously, when Tencent owns Riot Games, which makes League, and Tencent is this giant Chinese conglomerate.
Okay.
They go to Riot and they go, "Hey, we want a mobile League of Legends." And Riot's like, "Nah, we don't really think it would work that well." And Tencent's like, "That's fine. We'll just make." So they just made almost a cut and paste
of League of Legends
mobile
version,
Arena of Valor. It kind of works on mobile. Like, it's a little addictive.
I looked it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
And the first video that I looked up, Arena of Valor Switch, the first return is Arena of Valor Nintendo Switch review, the biggest game you've never heard of.
Yeah, it has like 200 million players. I think all of China plays it. And I picked it up, and I'm happy to report that the community around that is just as insane as League of Legends.
Great.
If you suck. Like, if you... I immediately had people calling me trash and all, because I, died a bunch of times.
There needs to be a genre of games that's like an umbrella genre that describes these games that are super successful. Everyone, not everyone. There's a ton of people playing them, but you don't know anybody who's playing them.
Right.
It's like FIFA. It's one of the most popular games in the world.
Like soccer, but we don't know anything about it.
But like in our market, like no one's playing it. And Valor's the same thing. Even League of Legends at this point is still insanely popular.
Yeah.
Even Counter-Strike is insanely popular. But no one we know is playing those anymore, but they still have a user base that's crazy.
You aren't kidding, this looks just like League.
Even they got a Blitzcrank, they got like all the, almost just complete copies. And I know all MOBAs are sort of the same, the maps and everything. But there's something about that genre I still like, that it's gratifying. Because like if your character gets powerful enough, if you get fed, there's no better feeling than just one-shotting or two-shotting people. It's so addictive.
The closest I got to being interested in a MOBA and being okay at a MOBA was Smite. And that's like a different version of a MOBA than like conventional League of Legends. And I liked Smite a lot. But now at this point, I would love to get back into it, but it's been like a year, and so the game has changed so much. I'm like, I don't want to relearn it.
The most I played a lot of Smite, but even more than that, I played Heroes of the Storm just to get unlockables.
Oh, the Blizzard one?
Unlockables in Overwatch. World of Warcraft.
Nice.
I was always jealous of the unlockables in
what unlock, like skins or something? Or,
Yeah.
Well, John, if
Skins
you're
and
wanting to get into a MOBA, apparently Arena of Valor has Batman as a playable character.
Yeah, they have a DC tie-in. You can be the Joker, you can be Superman,
What?
Yes. It's also like, there's so many it's free to play, so it's constantly asking you for money. So there's that. It feels like there's even a Wheel of Fortune kind of thing. You get to spin a prize wheel.
Your eyes are lighting up talking about it.
It feels like you're playing a casino.
Smite was free to play too, but the only thing they didn't really push a ton on you other than like if you want skins and if you but if you have like it was free to play, but if you had the God pack, you got all the characters no matter what. And so I guess I didn't play free to play. I paid to play the game.
I'm constantly worried I'm going to push something and then get a message like, you just spent $100, just because I accidentally. They're also like, MOBAs are really weird about like, if you go AFK.
That's Batman.
Yeah,
they have. You're right. I'm looking. They have Superman, Batman, and Joker.
And you can.
They also have Wonder Woman, apparently.
They have what?
It's a really weird list, of you see Superman and then you see this like small rabbit-looking thing holding a gun next to him. It's a really weird mashup of characters.
How did this happen?
That's not that weird considering the mashup comics that happened. There's Batman versus Predator as far as comics go. So this is actually pretty within the realm of comics.
Oh, the Flash is in it as well?
Yep, I saw Flash. I played lots of Jokers, as you might imagine. Joker, very popular.
Yeah.
Whenever people are trash talking you in the game, you should just ask them, why so serious?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yuck.
I accidentally, my favorite memory so far is I accidentally, because I'm old and my fingers are too, I accidentally invited someone to form a team with me after our match, and he just responded, sorry, but you're trash.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
He wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong.
I want that on a shirt.
Yeah.
Sorry,
but I'm trash.
but I'm trash.
Yeah.
Nice, because you're apologizing.
It was like nothing personal, but you're trash.
Yeah, you're just.
That was actually
you're
a very
garbage.
polite way to phrase that, because
Honestly, for the internet, it was.
That was
No,
very
yeah. I
polite.
said sorry. I said like,
Sorry.
oh, fuck you, garbage man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but wait, no, it's not the same.
Nothing personal. I don't partner with trash.
Yeah.
That's what it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all I'm playing. All right. So now let's take a break. We'll do a sponsor and we'll get to the news.
Those guys have no head.
This episode of Glitch Please is brought to you by MeUndies. You've heard me all obsess about my MeUndies and all the amazing colors and prints they offer.
Are you obsessed about your MeUndies, Brian?
I love them. They make my genitalia feel great. I mean, you spend your whole life in your underwear, so why not make them comfortable, John?
I'm literally wearing MeUndies right now.
But did you guys know that MeUndies also makes the world's most comfortable lounge pants
Oh,
and
they're great.
tees? What? So with fall finally here, now's the perfect time to put these cozy essentials to the test. Like, they feel great. If the underwear feels that great, can you imagine how
I have the pants. The pants feel fantastic.
They're
I'm not
amazing.
wearing the pants.
Oh, okay,
I'm
all right.
wearing black jeans.
It's weird. I just looked right at your crotch.
They're so comfy.
Yeah, they are.
They are. Well, the lounge pants from MeUndies, guys, are made from the same micromodal fabric as the undies, so don't worry. Let me tell you, you'll be in fall heaven when you cover your entire bottom half with fabric that is 3 times, not 2 times,
3 times.
3 times softer than cotton. MeUndies also love celebrating the fall season with fun Halloween prints. That's awesome. Halloween
I'm
prints.
looking at them right now. They got like jack-o'-lanterns.
Check out, that's right here. Check out their latest jack-o'-lanterns print in undies, socks, and bralettes. So you know what? You've been missing the gym, you can put a bralette on. You'll feel fine. When you join the MeUndies membership, you can get all this stuff. Lounge pants, tees, undies, everything else MeUndies makes for less than anyone else. To get your 15% off your first pair, free shipping, and 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/glitch. That's MeUndies.com/glitch. This is a no-brainer. Get 15% off the most comfortable undies you will ever put on. MeUndies.
You'll thank us for it.
You're welcome for that. All right, guys, let's do some news.
News.
All right, first up, there's a ton of thing that happened over the last week. Maybe the biggest was the Harry Potter AAA game.
Oh, right.
Which was leaked by the most awesome Redditor of all time named Vape This Bro, who apparently he or she or they was playing, like they were invited to play this at a mall. To like test it out. I don't know if this was some
That's
kind of
how they got footage of this?
That's what they said. Yeah, it was like, maybe like a test, test thing or something. And so they.
Is that a common practice for video games to just have
I don't know.
beta versions of unannounced AAA video games in malls?
You're the millennial. You hang out in malls.
I do go to malls on occasion, mostly because they're air conditioned and inside and free, and I can take my kids there.
They are. Yeah, that's
but
great.
I don't see like unreleased video games there.
That does seem like a weird, like, of course this was going to leak. If that's how they did it.
Right, and then no one's checking, like, hey, are you filming? No? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think that the person said, like, they told us to put away our cameras, but they didn't check. So, of course, they busted out their cameras and filmed it.
That's like when Marvel gives Tom Holland the script for his next movie, and he's like, don't show people what the title is, and they know Tom Holland. It's like planned
his
marketing.
dumb ass is going to snap
But it's planned dumbassery is what it
okay.
is.
All right.
So Vape This Bro had one of the greatest Reddit comments of all time.
Okay.
Are we just looking at Vape This Bro's account at this point?
I had read this in the story the other day when they leaked, and people are saying that maybe whoever leaked this created the video.
Yeah.
Who knows? And Vape This Bro responded, do you think a random internet stoner would have the skills and patience to create this video? So he's fully admitting
That's
it. Like,
awesome.
there's no way I could have made that.
Yeah, I think he said, like, I don't have the talent to make a fake like this. I'm just some asshole on Reddit who, pulled out his phone when he should.
I'm trash.
Was there any response from developers
Takedowns?
or anything?
We included a bit of footage from the leaked video. We included it in a roundup. Warner Brothers immediately DMCA'd it worldwide and took it down.
So that's taking that's at least ownership. That's claiming ownership.
Yeah, they've gone. Yeah. So
Well, in general, Harry Potter's owned by Warner Brothers, right? Or distributed.
If this is Harry Potter,
right?
If it was a knockoff and something fake and everything like that, you can't just take down knockoff fake magic stuff because you own Harry Potter.
Right.
You could take down Harry Potter stuff.
Right.
So if this is Harry Potter, and this is legitimate, and this is a game that's being made.
I forget if there was a character selection screen. I forget if there was any like specific Harry Potter, like Griffin, pick your house. Gryffindor, Slitherland.
I don't remember. What did you just say?
Slytherin.
What? No, what did you say?
Slitherland.
Yeah. Hi, kids.
I'm on a vacation in Slitherland this summer.
I'm from House Slitherland. Fuck you. I hate you. Speaking of Tom Holland, looks like Tom Holland right there. Was there houses right there? Are we pulling that up because there's houses?
Is there Slitherland?
Is there Slitherland? Name
it.
4 houses in Harry Potter.
That would be a great
Name the 4 houses right now.
Gryffindor, Slitherland, of course.
Yes.
Ravenclaw, and...
It's great you're forgetting the other one.
Fuck.
You got to come up with a 4th.
There's Gryffindor, Slytherin.
No, I want Brian's.
Ravenclaw and the...
Can you name their mascot? The color?
A turtle.
It's a turtle.
Is it?
The 4th one's a turtle. That is correct. It's a turtle, and their name is.
Fuck. Slytherin, Gryffindor.
Don't edit any of this out.
Slowlee.
Yep, Slowlee.
Slowlee the turtle.
Gryffindor, Slitherland, Ravenclaw, and Slowlee.
That's canon now.
I'm sorry I don't know all the houses.
I just love it. That's why I like that you don't know the houses. And that
You don't like it. You just said you hated me.
I hate it that you said Slitherland. You saved it by making the turtle-based house in Harry Potter called Slowlee.
What is it?
It's Hufflepuff, and they have badgers.
Oh, it's not a turtle. You lied.
Yeah, it's correct. I lied to you because I liked your story you were weaving. And I didn't want to inhibit your creativity at all with facts.
So there's been a little more, getting back to the actual story.
This is the actual story.
There's been a little more follow-up. There's a BBC entertainment correspondent, Lizo Mzimba, tweeted that the name of the game is the current working title is Harry Potter Magic Awakened, and that there are other titles also being developed.
Yeah,
other Harry Potter titles.
Yeah, it's just one. That makes sense. It'd be a franchise. And they showed some footage, and it was, there's character selection. There was kind of a wizard, a young wizard man running around. And it's not like, it doesn't seem to involve the actual characters.
Yeah, it's
set in that universe.
They were noticing that it looks like it's set in time close to like Fantastic Beasts because there was more Victorian style clothing, that kind of thing. It wasn't modern style thing.
I think what I read was it was set in the 1800s, in the 19th century.
Okay, then
that's correct.
Okay. Which is actually before, I think, Fantastic Beasts. But yeah, it would be in a time where we wouldn't see any recognizable IP at this point. Which then I saw someone else point out is a smart budgetary move.
They don't have to pay any actors.
Don't have to pay any actors or make up replacement actors to sound like Daniel Radcliffe or Jude Law at this point.
Yeah. Why don't you name all the actors?
Name all 4 houses.
Yeah, fucking smart.
Wait, all the actors? That's a lot of actors. We've got
like another,
7
hour?
movies?
Yeah, we got time to kill. We're burning through this
8
shit.
movies at this point and a 9th in the works? That's a lot of Harry Potter movies.
It looks good. I mean, it's clearly like something like.
Well, Rocksteady's a good developer.
It's not Rocksteady.
It's not,
It's Avalanche.
Where'd I get Rocksteady?
The initial
That's who
rumor
they thought,
was that it was Rocksteady.
Okay.
Rocksteady's working on something. They haven't said.
Because that made me upset because then it's fine to be upset that there was a leaked Harry Potter game because I want to go to Harry Potter game. But before that, there was the rumor, I don't know how much substantia is, that Rocksteady's working on a Justice League game, which I want that to
That would be cool.
So,
absolutely.
Because they fucking knocked it out because they made the Arkham games, correct?
Right.
Was it actually confirmed that it was Avalanche? I think the last I read was that it was the rumor has shifted that it was maybe Avalanche.
Eurogamer, I think, did a thing like we're hearing whispers that it's Avalanche. So yeah, it's not 100%.
If it is Avalanche, who's Avalanche? Do we know?
Oh, you know them, absolutely.
But I'm less privy to.
They did. I believe they did. Just Cause.
Oh, okay.
Just Cause, Mad Max. There's like a lot of two of the big ones.
I played about 30 minutes of a Just Cause game. I own them all.
Yep. Hunter, Call of the Wild.
It kind of makes sense. Just Cause 4 is coming out in December, so they would be.
Just Cause.
rolling off of that.
Yeah.
And
Mad Max was a
ramping
great
up
game.
these other.
Someone also found a position they were hiring for a while back that just says Warner Brothers Games Incorporated seeks a senior writer for the Avalanche story department. We are looking for a talented storyteller with a deep understanding of British culture and grammatical presentation.
Must know all 4 Harry Potter houses.
Yep, that's right here. I'm seeing it right here.
Slightly be a necessity if you're gonna do a Harry Potter game.
Applicants should be creative, self-motivated problem solvers who enjoy collaborating with other writers and designers. Blah blah blah. Nothing really about Harry Potter in there, but
I just realized something that may throw a wrench into that theory.
Breaking news.
So I don't know how many people work at Avalanche, but they're also working on Rage 2.
No, are they?
Yeah, they're the ones working on Rage 2 along with id. And
So
Bethesda.
it's
Another
difficult
rumor
for-
debunked.
Developers don't usually work on 2 games at a time.
It's. I mean,
Unless
unless
they're
they're really
massive.
big.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm looking here.
Or
Rage
unless
2
it's
still on
Telltale.
target for a first half 2019 release.
Yeah, I don't think it's anytime soon.
Well, that's what we even joked on Slack, you and me, because like it leaked footage without an announced title or anybody taking like credit for this or previous date means that cool. At best, we'll probably see this in 2020.
Right.
I don't know, but the fact that they're showing it to people in the public and they have enough polish to do that makes me
Why
think
would
that
you be
maybe
quiet
it's
about a Harry
sooner.
Potter game though?
Interestingly, Vape This Bro ironically had enough short-term memory to translate some of the, kind of copy some of their marketing materials. Here's what it says, set in the 19th century wizarding world, this third-person open-world action RPG centers around your character with unique abilities who has earned a late acceptance
That's right, like a 5th year.
to Hogwarts. You are a newly arrived 5th-year student. Is that like 5th year? Is that like late? Is that like
That's like
you're a non-traditional student?
second to last year. I think there's 6 years.
7.
There's 7. Okay.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
sorry.
okay.
So yeah, it's definitely, which is a way to solve you coming into the school and not having to go through the whole process and maybe also already having like some know-how at this point.
Like, remember in college when you'd have that student that was in their like late 20s?
Yeah.
That was in your class and you're like, oh, they're so old.
Yeah.
And then they just wreck the curve because they're really trying,
Yeah.
you know, and they get
they
hundreds.
want.
Well, that's kind of the
degree.
premise of this game. Apparently, you have some kind of like latent magic power that's
Yeah.
been developed. and
Yes, you are a
can
newly arrived
find
5th-year
something.
student that demonstrates a latent gift for magic with a unique ability to track and identify the remnants of a potent ancient power. Upon arrival, strange events begin to materialize in the Forbidden Forest. Trouble begins to brew within the castle walls.
Not trouble.
You embark on a journey both familiar and never before seen. You'll craft potions, master new spells, discover fantastical beasts. You'll battle dark wizards, goblins, and other supernatural enemies and uncover the truth about your destiny. The fate of the wizarding world lies in your hands. So it sounds cool.
So we know that you succeed because the school is still there.
That's the problem with
the movies
prequels.
get made eventually.
Yeah, that's the problem with
books,
prequels. But yeah, so that has been a big. I think Vape This Bro deleted his Reddit account after this.
Oh, really?
He's on the run now.
Oh.
He's gone into hiding.
Why would you delete your Reddit account at that point?
I mean, he doesn't want them finding him.
Oh, because
And abracadabra.
maybe he signed it.
Oh, so update. It's not Avalanche Studios. It's Avalanche Software that's developing. They made the Disney Infinity series, apparently.
There's 2 studios named Avalanche?
Avalanche Studios and Avalanche Software. They're 2
That's
different
right.
studios.
That's some good SEO. Definitely.
Yeah, they're out of Utah.
Can we make another games dev company called Avalanche Games?
So Avalanche Studios is the one who made Just Cause and is working on Rage
2. That's correct. They are not working on the Harry Potter games. Avalanche Software is reportedly working and are under Warner Brothers. They're working on this.
I
Harry
mean, it
Potter
is a
game.
cool name for a company.
and they're Warner Brothers.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Disney-related titles, including the Toys to Life game Disney Infinity. So yeah. So we'll see, but that, you know, I don't know. It has
hasn't-
potential. There hasn't been like a big
No,
Potter game.
Harry
there's
Potter-
Lego ones, but
Yeah, it hasn't found its legs in
Yeah.
video games, similar to how, like, I'd say at this point, Marvel really hasn't even found their legs in video games yet.
right. Well, didn't Marvel partner with Square Enix though? I think they're going to be
Cool.
putting out.
Oh,
yeah.
right. They released that really vague trailer like a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And given that it's Square Enix in 10 years, we'll probably see a game from them.
Yeah, they'll have restarted development on it 3 times by then.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right.
Give me the X-Men game I want.
There we go. We were talking about Assassin's Creed Odyssey earlier. There's also an interesting little tidbit. Google is using that game as sort of a test for a beta of its new streaming service where you can play games. They announced Project Stream, which is a game streaming service to kind of like you can play in your Chrome browser. What do you guys think?
Why do I need to play in my Chrome browser?
Well, if I think the idea is just to, well, you can play Assassin's Creed Odyssey without paying for it.
So without paying for it?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, how does that work?
Well, you sign up and they pick you and you have to have really fast internet. But I think the idea is to test.
Oh, you mean right now they're tests, you'd be able to play it for free.
Right.
Do you know what the system requirements are? Like, could I play Assassin's Creed Odyssey on this tiny little thing?
At least 25 megabits per second to play the game smoothly, and you have to be at least 17.
So no further. So that would be the reason they're doing it, is then you can play it on anything. It's like expanding the gaming market to anyone with an internet connected device.
Right.
So is this a competitor to Steam?
It's hard to say.
Well, because you're streaming the game.
Is it what? But you say streaming the game, that means broadcasting the game.
No.
No, you're playing it over.
Correct. Okay, so then you are using this service to play the video game.
Right.
So that is a competitor to another PC game provider like Steam.
Well, Steam, you download the game and play it locally.
Why would I want to stream it?
So that, again, if you have a shitty little laptop, you can play a game you couldn't normally play.
But
the idea is that you send your connection to a server somewhere that's running the game that has beefy hardware, and then that renders all the frames.
What's the hook?
Yeah.
Is that
you don't need a big rig to play.
It's depending on your internet connection and not your rig.
Right.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense and is interesting.
And they've also kind of like, not Google, but they've kind of done this in other countries. Japan on the Switch, Resident Evil 7, and I think Assassin's Creed Odyssey are two like AAA games that you can stream to your Switch. It's not a game that you download anywhere. It's just something you can play.
Yeah. And they've been talking about streaming before. I think
we've seen Nvidia try it on Switch in the past. I mean, there's been companies that have come around and tried to push a service like this.
Yes.
I feel like none of them has really taken traction. Even PlayStation Now did that for a while. That's the way they used to operate.
And now they're like, fuck it, you can just download.
Right.
But I think we've heard rumors that the next generation of Xboxes will have some sort of streaming. One of them might be a streaming console. I think the head of Ubisoft said that. Predicted that we'll have one more console generation, then we'll all just be streaming.
Yeah, and that solves issues like backwards compatibility.
Right.
If you're offloading the necessary hardware remotely and you're just streaming it via data.
Yeah, it's kind of an old model, really, like early computer age, where you have a giant supercomputer and then a bunch of dummy terminals. And I think the ultimate goal is to probably try to set up something like a Netflix or Spotify, but for games.
Yeah, where you pay your monthly Game Pass fee, and then kind of like what Nintendo's doing with their online, playing the old NES games, but I guess you're downloading the NES games.
Yeah.
So not quite.
It feels like they're all trying to get you on a monthly plan now.
Yeah.
PS Plus, Game Pass, all that, Xbox with its rental service, as opposed to just buying a game, playing the shit out of it, and then moving on.
The only service that has kind of currently already done this is the PlayStation service, where they have with like some PS2 games and PS3 games, you have the ability to stream those games if you pay for that service. I think it's like $20 a month, and the catalog's not huge. But the biggest thing I'm seeing is infrastructure problems with internet.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
So like, people are kind of hoping that if it's Google that's backing this, maybe they'll push somehow for better internet infrastructure, kind of like how they've done with gigabit networks in big cities, where they rolled in and then other internet companies went, oh yeah, no, we can totally do gigabit now, and also it's way cheaper, but only in these big cities.
Yeah.
So
like Austin.
Like Google Fiber, all of a sudden other companies.
I have fiber.
Yeah, me too. It's great.
It's fantastic.
Would you guys try something like this? I mean,
I'd try it. I feel like I tried. What was it? On Switch? I just said their name a few.
OnLive?
NVIDIA?
Is it OnLive?
I tried OnLive. I tried the NVIDIA service, and they worked fine.
Yeah.
I don't think we're the demographic for it.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what the Google take on it is, if it works better, and how reliable it is.
It does seem like, from an engineering perspective, it's a lot more challenging because it's both ways. It's not just like Netflix where you're just streaming a movie. You've got to obviously communicate back your inputs, and so. But if anybody can do it, you would think Google could pull this off.
I feel like this kind of thing would be easier to do in the future once you have 5G networks deployed and you have edge node computing, which is closer, because then that'll reduce latency for that kind of thing.
Right.
I'm curious to see how it plays out in the current internet infrastructure to see if it's even possible.
Seems like it's a way for a company that doesn't have a horse in the race of hardware to be able just to jump into games. Because if you don't have to actually sell hardware and you could just actually sell the games, then you totally jump over a hurdle everyone else has to play with.
Yeah, well, look at Netflix. I mean, now they're like a movie studio, and they just sort of skipped all that. They just started the streaming service.
They don't have to do distribution or anything like that. They just give it out to their people, and that's what you do.
Part of me says like, no, I still want to own my games, but I also thought that about music, back in the day, and now I just use Spotify for everything, and same with movies too.
I think we have an ownership mentality with certain stuff that is fading away. Like the games were, I think the same was about movies and even video games in general at this point. Like, yes, I have a Steam account that has 1 million games on it. I don't need 95% of them. Like, I like. Once I'm done with SpiderMan, there's a very big chance I won't play it again. And if I do, and I just had to like pay to rent it for a little while to play it again, I would. But like it's like
DLC.
I'm saying with even with movies, it's the same mentality where it's like unless it's a special movie that I really want to buy, I don't buy movies anymore.
Right. I know I want to own Goodfellas because I'm always going to get drunk and want to go back and watch Goodfellas.
Long movie. That's so long.
So good though.
Yeah.
It's good, but it's a long one.
It's a classic.
It'll be interesting to see what Google does pricing-wise for this, because Xbox Games Pass is kind of already doing this, where you kind of brought it up, where you just pay $10 a month, but you have access to Forza Horizon 4. Came out yesterday, and if you have Games Pass, you can play it right now. You don't have to pay $60 for it, but you don't have
Xbox Pass. You need a specific hardware, though.
Correct.
Google is going, you need this hardware, but you can have anybody's hardware who makes this hardware.
Right, but would you pay $60 for Assassin's Creed Odyssey, or throw $20 and be able to stream it but not necessarily own the game?
I would probably spend $20 to stream it, because Assassin's Creed's a game that, like a lot of games, that I want to play it. When I'm done, I will not need it again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like a value proposition, because that's why Netflix took off. It was $10 a month or whatever it started out at. It's like, holy shit, I can watch all this stuff.
Yeah.
There's also some value in owning the physical copy, though, because when you're done with Assassin's Creed, you can take it back and sell it or do something with it.
If you buy physical.
So like you can subsidize the cost of the game that way as well. So it's not like one-to-one necessarily.
But I also don't buy physical copies of anything.
Right. I'm just playing devil's advocate
Yeah.
here.
No, we're talking about me here, okay? It's important to know whether or not I'm going to use the service.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they can pull it off. I do feel like, though, in America, we're a bit behind other, your Japans and South Koreas in terms of internet speeds. So that might be, and we're also a lot bigger. So it seems like a tougher challenge if you're, not in a major city. So
yeah, it seems definitely targeted towards major cities with good internet infrastructure.
Right. So we shall see. Next up, Ubisoft and Vivendi. They have been kind of at war for a couple years now. Vivendi is this French multimedia conglomerate. They used to own Activision, but they've been...
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, but they've been kind of wanting to get back into the gaming industry. They had been gobbling up Ubisoft shares at one point. I think they owned 27% of the company in 2016, and the fear there, certainly from Ubisoft, was that there's a hostile takeover.
I think Vivendi had even said they wanted to take over. Yeah, but they were very clear about their intention.
Yeah, and this is something that Ubisoft has said, nope, we don't want this. They're still owned by the Guillemot family. I mean, they're publicly traded, but so this was a big fear. Finally, earlier this year, Vivendi said, we're going to back off, we're going to sell our stuff. And now they announced that they are going to sell, I think they still have about 8%, 6 to 8% left. They're going to sell the rest of that by 2019.
Yeah, so, if I remember right, even at the end of their 2017 E3 presentation, Yves Guillemot came out on stage and advocated for Ubisoft remaining independent and fighting off this Vivendi potential takeover.
Yeah. They did not want that, and I think there's that fear of you get big corporate owners, they start slashing or you lose control of your company.
Right. Well, they're more interested in pleasing investors in the bottom line, which is a funny thing to say because, like you said, Ubisoft is still
they also have investors.
Publicly traded. They have investors, but it seems like they're a lot more willing to take risks and maybe not necessarily do things that are the best for the immediate bottom line, but grow for the future.
And we've definitely seen in gaming that can be a very negative thing if it just becomes about sort of profit making and pleasing investors. So this seems like good news for Ubisoft. I mean, they've had a good run too the last couple of years of games, and Assassin's Creed Odyssey is coming out. Far Cry 5 did well this year. So.
And now they're going to be just perfect.
Now just smooth.
That last little bit of
blue skies.
Yeah, it's just going to be fantastic. Every Ubisoft game is going to be perfect. That's how this works out.
Yeah, their stock actually, Ubisoft stock jumped. It looks like after they announced that partnership with Google for the
Project Stream.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
It spiked pretty big. It's back down again, but it definitely saw a big bump from that.
Yeah, somebody did an estimate though of like Vivendi. Don't feel bad for them if you were, because they're going to make hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars from this stock sale. So it seems like a good thing though. Ubisoft, they're obviously a major player, so for them to keep some amount of independence, I think, is a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, say what you will about Ubisoft, but I feel like they're one of the few big developers and publishers who still try new things, still trying different things. And
yeah, I mean, you just brought up Far Cry 5, and we got Odyssey out, and they're both like Far Cry 5 was well received, and Odyssey seems to be going to be doing pretty well. So it's like,
but they're also doing things like, I mean, I felt like they had Valiant Hearts and the UbiArt stuff. We're gonna have Beyond Good and Evil at some point.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
at some point.
But I mean, that's like an example. You know, Vivendi might not be cool with a super expensive project that takes multiple years, and who knows when it's going to be done, and who knows how it's going to sell.
Right. Well, yeah, look at, some other big publishers out there are not cool with stuff going on. They'll just shut you down, or they'll buy smaller studios, gobble them up.
EA and that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, it's good news.
Okay.
On to other, speaking of sort of big companies and terrible corporate practices, FIFA 19, they revealed who makes FIFA? That's EA, right? So they revealed
Speaking of EA.
Yeah, they revealed the pack odds. So FIFA Ultimate Team is their sort of version of loot boxes to get cards for players. So they revealed that your odds of getting the best players from these, which are called ones to watch player, and those are good because their stats can sort of adjust.
Sure.
Less than 1%.
Of course.
Because they have to release this stuff because you have to put out this info because it's
the law.
It's gambling.
Yeah, and they might be trying to maybe get ahead of regulators a little bit, because we're noticing like in Europe and in Belgium and the Netherlands, they're starting to ban them. So I think they're trying to, hey, look, we're being above board here.
Didn't EA not remove loot boxes in one of their games?
Oh no, they're staying. Yeah, they're keeping them.
So I feel like they're kind of taking both sides here. They're like, you know, fuck you, we don't agree with you, but also here are the odds.
But and an interesting point though, less than 1% can be a lot of things. It can be, 0.8%, or it could be
still
0.0001%.
Even 1% is a kick in the face on you getting like some sort of legendary item.
It was FIFA that they're in trouble with in Belgium. The Belgian government's angry at them over the FIFA loot boxes.
Well, and soccer everywhere is huge. And FIFA, like we were saying, it's a huge game. It's not one that I really play, but it's massive.
Yeah, and that brings to mind like, does FIFA keep doing this? Who the fuck plays other soccer games?
Right.
Everyone's playing FIFA, whereas. If you're in the FPS, space, and an FPS you're playing is like this, people jump over to the next FPS and that kind of thing. If an MMORPG is doing that, people might play the other one.
Well, I will say
true.
there is also Pro Evolution Soccer, which is also a very popular soccer game. But
so there's some sort of competition.
But big asterisk at E3 this year, EA announced they got the Champions League, which was the last big thing that they didn't have, that Pro Evolution Soccer did have. So now it's definitely become a lot more like you're going to go all in on FIFA if you're a soccer fan.
Yeah. That is a good point.
So you're at the behest of FIFA,
right?
Which is why they can make something that is a really good item in the game less than 1%.
And I believe just the profits from Ultimate Team Mode are hugely is a huge revenue source for EA. So they're going to try to protect that. It is weird, and I play games with loot boxes. Hearthstone has card
it's
packs.
one big loot box.
Yeah, I'm not above it at all. I've spent several $100s on Hearthstone.
Marvel Puzzle Quest, Pokemon, Overwatch. Those are 3 games I play constantly that have loot boxes.
Yeah. And it is, and I stopped paying for Hearthstone packs and I started just doing free to play because at one point I just added it up and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like that's just, when I see it like that, the total.
Gone too far.
Yeah, this is like, I could have, what else could I have bought with all this money?
Right.
A
Better van.
That's right. I don't know. I wonder if EA will. I feel like the only reason they're going to change this is if they're forced to.
Correct. EA is not the company that goes, oh, that you guys didn't like that. Oh, we want our fans to be happy. We're going to change this.
Dang, we're going to listen to the community on this.
It's like they're watching their stock thing, and once it dips to a certain point, they go, okay, we're sorry, we're going to change it. Okay, it's back up again.
Like with Battlefront 2.
Battlefront, that's what it was. It wasn't until it actually started affecting them, like financially, that they changed their minds.
Kind of to your point, Battlefront 2, there's other options. I mean, there's, you can go play other similar-ish.
Yeah, that genre of games.
Right. Whereas FIFA, it's like, too fucking bad if you don't like it.
Yeah.
I've paid way too much for Hearthstone.
I just named off those 3 games, and between those 3 games, I do not need to know how much I've spent on those 3 games.
Yeah, I was curious, so I just logged in, and I'm looking, and now I'm depressed.
But
See?
at the very least, my rationalization for that kind of stuff is that if these are games that I play like evergreen style, then this is money I'm putting towards instead of me buying a whole new game.
It's an entertainment proposition.
Yeah. On top of how much money I've put into those games, you could also look at how much time I put into them, and you'd be like, Jesus fucking Christ, you put a lot of time into those games.
Right.
Like I said last time, I pulled up the continuous days on Marvel Puzzle Quest. I'm in the 800 days of playing this game. How many games can you say you've played 800 days in a row?
800 days total.
Yes.
So like over 2 years
Yes.
of game time.
Just playing, that's me playing at least once that day of playing that game for a certain amount of time.
Okay, so they didn't add up the whole hour.
No. But
he launched the game at least once.
Oh my God, you have to delete that.
No.
You're losing your life.
Yeah,
God.
that's a lot. No, it's that you jump into a game and you play it for that day. And if I can't name any other games that like SpiderMan, I've played that for 800 days. Like, no, you play it for like 30 days.
Minesweeper.
Solitaire.
MMOs are like that with me. Like I went through a major, like Final Fantasy 11. I think I had over a year of game time.
Yeah,
like
Warcraft. Warcraft. We should not look into how much time I put over the course of my life in that game.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But those
Nothing will change.
Crappy odds.
EA is going to continue to be poo.
Yeah. And they're going to make a lot of money off of that.
Yeah, it's like a casino. The house is going to always win. One more thing I wanted to mention very briefly. There was a breaking story today. Nintendo is looking at putting out a new version of the Switch.
I saw that. We all knew. I mean, we all suspected as much.
The Wall Street Journal had the story. They didn't really give any details about
I'm in the market to buy a Switch.
It seems like the biggest, from what I was able to gather.
You might want to wait then.
No, I want to play Pokemon.
The biggest difference that I saw, that's speculated so far, none of this is concrete, was that the new Switch hardware will have a better, brighter display.
Yes. It says they're still debating what new hardware and software features will include. One option is improving the display. It currently uses a liquid crystal, but if they made something different, it could be brighter, thinner, more energy efficient.
Or have Bluetooth.
Right. Looking to release it in the latter half of 2019, perhaps as soon as the summer. So less than a year away. But yeah, if you want to play Pokemon, let's go.
I gotta buy it. I gotta get that, and I gotta get the Eevee.
And apparently they're worried that the Switch is sold really well. It sold almost 20 million between last year, when it was launched in June 30th of this year, almost 20 million units. Its goal is to sell 20 million more through March of next year. But they're worried that it's kind of cooling off a little.
I'll admit, I was down at the Best Buy here by the studio the day before yesterday, and I went out of my way to look and see if they had how many Switches they had in stock.
Why were you at a Best Buy?
I had to buy a USB stick. Long story.
You went to a brick and mortar to get a USB stick?
I needed it immediately.
Okay.
But I went out of my way to look and see how many Switches they had in stock. And, of course, they don't have any on the shelf. They're like up there and you have to ask for help. So I was looking at it, and I think they probably had 20 up there.
Oh, so we're starting to get...
Yeah, there was a huge glut of Switches up there. And I thought, and it looked like none had been taken out. Like it was a solid block that was just dedicated for
As
the
opposed
Switch.
to when you had to like get notifications of when Switch was back in stock.
Right. So there were definitely plenty.
Well, they haven't had I don't think they've had this year a game that's gonna like move systems yet.
They had Mario Odyssey this year, didn't they?
this year.
Last year. Oh well.
It was early this year.
Yeah, but okay, so let's just say for a while, like did Summer have?
They got Smash coming out.
Did Summer
They
have
got
a hardware
Super Mario
pushing
Party
game?
tomorrow.
No, I don't think they've had it.
I'm saying they have games coming out, but I don't know if
Mario
they have.
Odyssey last year, October of last year.
What? No,
October
that's not
27th.
right.
October 27th. They had Breath of the Wild last year. Great launch title, all-time
Is that
great
right?
game. Mario Odyssey. Wikipedia says.
What's been their most like hardware pushing title they've had in 2018?
I mean, I guess they had Octopath. That was sold really well. That sold.
It
well.
sold well, but
They ran out of physical copies of that game for a while.
So that's good. But I think the ones they were looking at this year, Pokemon Let's Go and Smash, to move. So they
When
haven't
did Cart come out?
at this point last year.
Yeah, that was definitely
Deluxe,
last year.
yeah. So I think they're worried about it kind of cooling off and not, just not having the sales pace that it has been, because Nintendo stock has been doing great, but I think with that come expectations from analysts that
To continue it.
especially your hardware, because if you don't make your hardware sales goals, then everything else follows that.
Yeah.
Then you're not going to sell as many software.
I mean, they have stuff on the horizon, like you just brought up Mario Party and Smash, and even like the whole news about Animal Crossing
Right.
and Pokemon's going to come out and it's going to push some numbers.
Right.
But when's Smash?
December?
Yeah.
December. It's
So November is Pokemon. That means that you haven't really had anything pushed to the
Yeah.
end of your year.
They've had a lot of indie. They've tried to fill it with indies.
Yeah, it's not been no games.
Right.
But there hasn't been a Breath of the
Huge
Wild.
one, yeah.
There
Not-
hasn't
not
been
big IP.
An Odyssey.
You've
Yeah.
destroyed me, by the way, letting me know that Odyssey came out last year. I can't
It's been
believe
a
Gus has
year.
been stunned.
Yeah.
It's been a year, Gus.
But that's the problem though. Creating new games, it takes a long time. It takes years. So
I gotcha.
I think they're in a little bit of a tough spot here.
To put it actually in terms of even a consumer who's in their market, I decided that I wanted to get a Switch the beginning of summer, but I looked at the calendar and I go, oh, I can definitely wait till they
Yes.
even release
Right.
the announcement of a Pokemon Switch before I even need to buy one, because there's nothing I need to jump onto.
Right, and Nintendo is famous, and it has been this way for a while. Their machines are primarily first-party Nintendo machines.
I think, maybe a lot of. I'm glad you brought this up. I think
Thank
maybe
you.
a lot of third-party developers were waiting to see how the console
time.
sold.
Yep.
The console has sold well, and we're only now reaching a point where if they started development, once they realize it's a
Right.
hit, we're going to
Right.
start
Yeah, it'd
seeing
be interesting to look at the
results
calendars of
that.
like start dates.
Yeah, I think Square Enix and other, and yeah, you started to see a Doom port, a Wolfenstein 2 port. People, the next Doom Eternal, I think, is going to be also on the Switch. So people are starting to treat it as a major
And
console.
Starlink, remember that Switch game with the little spaceships?
Yeah.
That's coming out
Yeah,
October 16th.
with Star Fox in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I pre-ordered that as soon as they showed the R-Wing.
So, yeah, I think there's stuff there, but it does seem to be in a little bit of a lull
Yeah.
in terms of new games. But it's, the form factor of the Switch, I still play a lot of stuff on it because
Sure, but you're
don't-
already an owner.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the two big ones for next year are Animal Crossing and Luigi's Mansion 3. So those are
Yeah.
the kind of the only two big
Metroid
Nintendo games
Prime
for Switch.
4 out there somewhere, but I don't think that's going to
Oh
be next
God,
year.
yeah, they didn't even talk about that at E3 this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does seem, maybe it's a thing of like everybody who wants a Switch has one at this point, who bought it for Odyssey, who bought it for Zelda,
Yeah.
or like you are holding back and,
Yeah.
waiting. And it'll be interesting to see if Pokemon Let's Go moves Switches, or Smash, or people jump in for Smash.
Yeah.
And I play Smash, but I don't know, I know it's really popular, but I don't know if
I would not buy the Switch for Smash.
that's the big
But I
question.
guarantee there's plenty of people who would.
Oh, totally. I'm not the only market for that. Yeah.
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 I'm more so. I'm someone who's like Kart or
Yeah.
Mario Odyssey itself is what would push me to buy the Switch.
Right. So yeah, I don't know. What new features would you want to see?
That Bluetooth thing.
Bluetooth.
Yeah.
I've read that from what I've gleaned from previous owners,
Yeah.
battery and Bluetooth.
Yep. Yeah. it runs out of, if you play it, it has a, it's not a short battery life, but it's not very long either.
No. Travel
You can
and that
run it
kind of
down.
thing,
Yeah, and that's, the portability of it is the selling.
And my life has been based around at this point of always having like bricks of batteries with me when I go travel.
Right.
So that's solvable. The Bluetooth is annoying because I have nothing that now I connect a cord of my headphones to.
It is a hugely overlooked feature. And there's been a lot of speculation that they pushed the Switch out and it's kind of released it early. And the interface does still kind of feel a little beta-ish.
And really, I think at its core, a new hardware revision is definitely coming, if for no other reason other than the CPU exploit that exists in the Switch that is unfixable, so they have to redesign and ship new hardware. So it's going to come eventually.
Yeah.
This makes total sense. And then why not add new features if you have to
big time
if you have to fix that hardware anyway?
Finally the release version of the Switch coming next year. I think it's, but I love
We've all been playing with beta.
Yeah. But it's a great design. I hope they stick with it for the future. I hope they just release incrementally more powerful Switches.
Sure.
Because they've made, I think, the best handheld yet.
Cool.
You know. Yep. So we'll see.
One more bit of news I want to add.
Please, go ahead.
Huge news. I think it was just announced yesterday. Mike Morhaime announced that he's stepping down from Blizzard. Yeah, Blizzard.
Yeah.
I almost said
That's
Battle.
right.
So he co-founded Blizzard in 1991. He's been president of Blizzard since 1998 and took on the CEO role in 2007. So he's stepping down after 27 years of work. I mean, Blizzard is iconic. I mean, every game they make's amazing.
He himself has been part of like defining video games for almost 3 decades.
Yeah, it said that he will stay on as a strategic advisor, and there's people who've been in the company a long time who are going to step up and fill his roles.
And I think it's the executive producer of World of Warcraft.
Yes.
Is taking J. Allen Brack.
Yes,
I believe he's taken over. He is, I think, like a 12-year veteran of the company, so he's been there a while. Not a founder, obviously, but yeah, that's a huge management shift.
Huge management shift with BlizzCon only a month away.
Right.
Seems strange timing, and just 2 years ago, Chris Metzen retired as well from Blizzard.
Yeah.
So we're starting to see a lot of that original guard stepping down. So it's definitely a crazy period of transition for Blizzard.
Well, they probably
who've knocked it out of the park for 27 years.
Does any company have a better track record than that? I mean, of like, not to like, blow Blizzard here, but like everything they've made, like they're just
money.
They're known for polish and just putting out great stuff.
Even stuff I'm like, I'm not going to play that. I play it. I've wasted.
Yeah.
Just earlier we were talking. I was looking at how much fucking money I spent on Hearthstone.
Oh,
You played Heroes of the Storm just to
I played Heroes of the
for another game.
Right.
They also do a good job of tying all their games together in this little universe. Like Hearthstone has all these sound effects from like Warcraft and stuff like that. And you're like, I haven't heard that sound in years.
It's just from another one of the video games.
Yeah.
It's literally just a game spin-off.
Right. Heroes of Warcraft.
Yeah.
I think it's the subtitle. But yeah, but these old guard, I mean, they made so much money. They're probably like, you know what? I'm gonna retire to my island.
I looked it up. He's 50 years old, so maybe he's just
wow. That's still pretty.
Enjoy the rest of his life.
Yeah.
But that seems young even.
Yeah. But if you don't have to do it anymore,
I get that.
He co-founded Blizzard.
I don't even know how you get into the headspace of someone like that, so I don't know where you were even at that point at 50 years old.
I had a friend who worked at Blizzard, I think in their like Dallas office, and like after, I think it was like they worked when World of Warcraft took off.
Yeah.
And she said the parking lot was just full of like Ferraris. Like it was just like, it was clear everybody had like, was on a big come up.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so
great
thanks for all
job.
your work, Mike Morhaime. Huge fan of everything
Seriously.
that you've done, your company has done over the last 27 years.
Absolutely. Looking forward to seeing what they put out next, but it sounds like they're probably in good hands if the head of WoW is taking over. So, yep. So that is all the stuff we've got for today's Glitch. Please stick around if you're a first member. We got New Game Plus coming, and for the rest of you, we'll see you next week.
Bye.